A 9-term incumbent congressman named Pete Hoekstra gave up the prospect of running for a 10th term in Congress this year because he wanted to try to move up in the world. He gave up his seat in Congress after 18 years with all that seniority in order to try to become the Republican candidate for governor in his home state of Michigan instead. How'd he do? Well, let's go to PeteHoekstra.com and see. Here we go, www.PeteHoekstra.com, and there's the top entry. We did it! Oh, hold on, wait a second. It says, congratulations to Rick Snyder, who has won the GOP nomination for governor. We did it? Oh, I see. PeteHoekstra.com is an anti-Pete Hoekstra website. Look at the tagline across the top. Dangerous, polarizing, and bad for Michigan. And then there's quotes. Shameful. One of Congress's more offensive buffoons. The human sieve. Pete Hoekstra is not a nationally famous Republican, nor is he somebody who remembered to register his own domain name. But he is a very powerful member of Congress. He's the Republicans' top guy on intelligence. Were Republicans a majority in the House again, he'd be running the Intelligence Committee right now. And however boring the idea of congressional committees is, the Intelligence Committee is a really big deal. Intelligence Committee members get access to a ton of super secret, super important information. They are entrusted with all sorts of stuff that even other members of Congress don't get to know about. And frankly, Pete Hoekstra, as the top Republican on intelligence, proved himself to be such a disaster over and over and over again that it is worth saying goodbye to him now, as his political career comes to a spectacular, crashing, burning end. If there's one thing that Pete Hoekstra is nationally remembered for, it's when he declared alongside then-Senator Man-on-Dog Rick Santorum that they had found the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Do you remember that press conference?
Congressman Hoekstra and I are here today to say that we have found weapons of mass destruction in Iraq.
This says weapons have been discovered, more weapons exist, and they state that Iraq was not a WMD-free zone.
Spoken with conviction. Totally made up. Again, it would be one thing if this were just coming from some random kook member of Congress, but this guy's the top Republican on intelligence in Congress, and he thinks he found the weapons of mass destruction. When Pete Hoekstra was not declaring that he had found imaginary weapons in Iraq, Mr. Hoekstra also found time to use attempted terrorist attacks on this country as fundraising opportunities. Precisely 3 classy days after the failed Christmas Day bombing aboard a Detroit-bound U.S. airliner, Pete Hoekstra sent out a fundraising letter about the terrorist attack, begging for money. Quote, if you agree that we need a governor who will stand up to the Obama-Pelosi efforts to weaken our security, please make a most generous contribution of $25, $50, $100, or even $250 to my campaign. When criticized for his decision to use terrorist attacks to raise money for himself, this was Pete Hoekstra's defense.
I've been leading on national security for the last 9 years that I've been on the Intelligence Committee.
Wait, you've been what on national security?
I've been leading on national security.
Oh, see, I thought he said leaking. I thought he said he'd been leaking on national security, because that is true. He has been doing that. It was my friend Steve Bennett at Washington Monthly who coined the term the human sieve to describe Congressman Pete Hoekstra, because Hoekstra is pathologically unable to keep classified information to himself. He is incapable of not leaking. In 2007, Mr. Hoekstra wrote an op-ed for the New York Post in which he complained about intelligence leaks. Quote, leaks to the news media have seriously undermined anti-terrorist intelligence programs. Then 2 paragraphs down, he leaked the up until then classified information that the 2008 Intelligence Authorization Bill had cut human intelligence programs. Pete Hoekstra's complaint about leaks and his own leak were separated by 43 words. Then there was his trip to Iraq last year. Usually when members of Congress take trips to war zones, we get to see pictures of what they did and where they went only after they get home safely. Usually they like to keep the details of these trips sort of on the down low while they're actually there in order to protect those American officials. But when Pete Hoekstra went to Iraq in February of last year, he incessantly tweeted his whereabouts in real time. So anyone with internet access would know the exact location of him and his congressional delegation full of high-value insurgent targets at any moment. At 1:41 a.m. on February 6th, quote, just landed in Baghdad. Then helpfully, if you lost track of him, you wanted to know exactly where he was and where he was heading next. At 3:56 a.m., he tweeted, quote, moved into green zone by helicopter, Iraqi flag now over palace, headed to new U.S. embassy. Still time to meet me there. Then there was the time in 2006 when Pete Hoekstra pushed the Bush administration to post boxloads of documents from the fallen Iraqi government online. Documents that included, it turned out, nuclear bomb-making instructions. They put on the internet a basic guide to building an atom bomb, real actual nuclear bomb-making instructions in Arabic, posted on the interwebs. National security leadership from Congressman Pete Hoekstra, who will be a congressman no more, nor will he be Michigan governor, so farewell to Pete Hoekstra. Honestly, I wish you good luck in whatever your future holds, and for all our sake, I hope that whatever your future holds does not involve any sensitive information.